You know, it is what it is. And they say that it is what it is because it is what it is. So if it is what it is, and it always is what it is, and it's never not what it is, why don't you just accept what it is? Oh, Richie, what are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I learned from the news and history. If you just keep on repeating something, somebody just accepts it because they're like, please, all right, fine, it is what it is. It is what it is. The new normal. 6 feet. 6 feet. Last night while watching free cable television on Tubi, they actually have some good 80s and 90s movies. And at least only every half hour is like a 30-second commercial. So that's not bad. Here's the funny thing though. Last night must have been brought to you by Disney because I was getting commercials for Disney World. No, commercials by Disney World all last night. Now, what were the commercials about? Disney World, attractions, their hotels, their, not casinos, their, maybe a casino, their luxury cruise line? No. Last night, about 5 times, there was a commercial brought to you by Disney using their little cartoon characters on still wearing a mask outside and still what do you call it, using 6 feet and protect the bubble and stay away from people, stay away from human contact. There you go. That sounds like, really important. That's really going to help people in the middle of winter time too, where people this stand. And I did not keep my promise. I did not keep my promise. I don't use it that much. I mostly smoke in the car. The reason why this road is so busy, it's normally not a busy road. It's not a highway. But I did it highway. There's a detour, because they've been doing construction on here for like 6 months, and they detoured everything, and it's messing. It sound like an old man. This was a peaceful town until they put in the highway over there. Anyways, the Don Carlos, the Donatello. We already had the classic Don Carlos, right? The Don Carlos, right? Reserva, which is the regular. But then we had the personal Reserva last night. So I'm gonna mess people up there. What? Ah, what? So look, we've already established how good the regular Don Carlos is, and it is. Therefore, though, every other one of these Don Carlos, it has to be better. I'm not saying it's going to be, because if it's not, I'll tell you. But it has to be better because they cost more money. And if something costs more money than the regular version, it has to be better. I'm not saying it is. Listen to what I'm saying. Because if it's not, I'm not going to waste my time on it. I'm not saying I bought these cigars. All these cigars were given to me. I'm saying, but in the future, would I buy the personal Reserva over the regular for the more money? Yeah. That personal Reserva was Opus level. Not beating Opus, but the personal Reserva last night, my goodness. Now here we have another very special cigar. This is the Don Carlos edition anniversary, 2017. And there was more of these. I think there was an 8. I think there was a 14. And now I saw an 18. I don't know how this works. Hopefully Jeremy could let us know in the comments. I don't know if every year there's a special version of the Don Carlos that's not the private reserve, because the private reserve stays the same, right? But because it had a year, does it change from year to year on this edition? This is the 2017 Carlito Fuente. It doesn't say Junior, so we know this is to Junior's father, Senior. A tribute to my hero, Carlos Arturo Fuente. ... Carlito. So from father to son, and from son to father. There's much love there. There's much love there. This is a really well-made cigar. Nice light brown looking stick. The foot smell. Magic. Fermented figs and like pancake syrup and a barbecue charred wood fire. Like, dude, these cigars, man, are ridiculous. Now, once again, we've established the classic Don Carlos. And yesterday, the second one, the Person Reserva took the regular Don Carlos to Opus level. I'm not saying Purple Rain or Dubai level, but to the classic Opus level. They really did. And I'm not sure if they're using some Opus tobacco in there. Maybe they are. This one, though, I believe is advertised, and I could be wrong. But I was looking stuff up, and it says for this one, the Don Carlos, they're using the Opus X wrapper. And I don't know if that's true because I'm not sure what year that was. And maybe it is, maybe it's not. Please let me know. I'm just going to review the cigar. If I had to guess, the wrapper does look like Opus X looking wrapper, though. Because as I hit it with a little sun, it does have a little reddish hue to it, which generally is Opus X. I don't know. It's Robusto. This was given to us by our dear friend Jeremy, and we're going to enjoy the hell out of this. Initial impressions of high quality, banding's fantastic. We do have the Opus X symbol on the back, so one could assume it's going to have Opus in it. I don't know. I don't know. And it does say 1976 to 2006. I don't know what that means. I know it's 30 years. I don't know 30 years for what. Is it 30 years that his father ran the business? I really don't know. But I don't know. I'm not sure when Carlito Sr.'s, when Arturo Fuente, I don't know when he died or passed over in the company. I don't know. We're going to use soft, gentle heat, and I'm going to use my jacket to protect the smoke because it's a little windy now. A little windy. Give me the bat, Wendy. Give me the bat, Wendy. I'm going to play it close to the chest here. Oh, yeah, so Disney World commercials. Mickey Mouse says, stay 6 feet. Really? When I was a kid, it was Mickey. Why? Come on. Why do I gotta get it if you got it? That'd be like people saying, you have to eat food so I don't get hungry. Well, yeah, I thought you ate food. Yeah, but my food doesn't count unless you eat food. I bunched that up. Really rather windy right now. Really rather windy. Did you ever take a bigger hit than you meant to in the beginning? Because you're holding it in your mouth for a second while you're moving your hands or something, and all of a sudden, oh shit. Initial impression was a little stronger than I thought it would be. Initial impression is very delicious. Initial impression is high quality. Initial impression is superior to the regular Don Carlos. And once again, when I say that, I'm not, crapping on Don Carlos, and I wouldn't do that. What I'm saying is Don Carlos set the bar, and all these other ones better be better, because they're more money, harder to find, more limited. But yeah, if you're gonna add, and once again, I could be wrong, but if you're gonna add anything with Opus X, whether it's the wrapper or anything else added to the regular Don Carlos, I wish I would know the exact specs, and I don't know. And it's not like I didn't look up, but I was looking up stuff, but the information would say one thing, but it would say 2008 or 14. And so please, let me know. I could just review the cigar. Smoke output is generous. Strength is a medium right now. Not a gentle medium, just a medium. Finish is not super heavy, but it's pretty long. I will say this as well. Initial impression, this is not as strong as the Personal Reserva. this is fantastic. But if you ask me off the initial impression, just the initial impression, what had a better initial start? The personal reserve over this. And once again, we already established that the personal reserve was superior to the Don Carlos in every way. So now in that case, we already know this cigar is superior to the regular Don Carlos. But is it going to be superior to the personal reserve? And that's the question. Initial puffing? No, personal reserve. We'll see how this thing picks up. Finish getting a little stronger. The draw is very nice. The draw is very nice. Feels like it has a faster draw than the personal reserve. But you gotta be careful though. This is looks like a lighter wrap. Looks like a lighter wrap. Looks like it. This might be able to burn faster, a higher combustion rate. So you gotta be careful if you have certain tobacco in a cigar that it might not be construction. Just that tobacco burns faster, right? Thinner tobacco, faster it burns. So you gotta be careful you don't smoke it too fast. The cigar is not as sweet as the personal reserve. The personal reserve was very pungently sweet. And the personal reserve was actually stronger though. So, is this still a great cigar? Oh, absolutely. But it's different than the personal reserve as of right now. And we'll give it time, we'll let it pick up and see what the hell's going on. It's different. This feels very sophisticated, this cigar. Very complex. I need time to hang out with it. Okay. Raw sugar coming in, but that classic Fuente woodsy note that was in the other Don Carlos and the personal reserve and the Opus X is there. It's there. It's a dark woodsy note that's more like a barbecue pit, not cedar. Like a smoke, like if someone was smoking meat in a barbecue pit. You know what I'm saying though, with a bunch of all this kind of seasonings and sweet and savory spices. And that beautiful smell of charred wood, but in a good way, you know. That's really good. Not gonna lie. Personal Reserve was darker. Personal Reserve was stronger. But we'll see. Let's give it time to pick up, though. So head-to-head, Personal Reserve is better than this. But the Personal Reserve was a 4.9 overall. And I think the Don Carlos Classic was a 4.5. This is better than the Don Carlos regular, so is it going to be how much in between? We're going to find out. Or is it going to have a ridiculous second, third? I don't know. Time will tell. Very oily, very buttery, creamy. The black peppers pick it up. And it does have that classic, just a little bit of red pepper on the back end too. There is some similarities to the this Don Carlos here, the 17, the Carlo Fuente 2017 edition, the anniversary. Similarities to the Personal Reserve, but the Personal Reserve is stronger. And I'm not saying the Personal Reserve, let's say I liked it more just because it was stronger. It wasn't just strong for strength's sake. Like, it didn't lose any of those flavor though. It was, yeah. And I didn't talk about the finish on the Personal Reserve because I ended the video. The finish, the last 15 minutes, bro, I was smoking that to the nub. I was basically holding ash. The finish on the Personal Reserve, you gotta buy a box. Oh, interesting. Right there, the cigar got darker. can't judge a cigar by its wrapper sometimes. Right there, the whole profile got darker and the strength picked up. It's medium to full right there. All of a sudden it was just like, when Fuentes want to transition or shift, it's just like, here you go. You're like, what happened? It's like you're at a steakhouse and all of a sudden it becomes a nightclub, which there were places like that back in New York in the day, guys would talk about. There'd be restaurants, and then at nighttime you would stay there, and then they would turn it into a nightclub after a certain hour. So you could tell your wife, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bar and have a drink with my friends. And all of a sudden, give it a little time, and the disco ball comes out, and now it's a party. We're at 70% darkness. We're at 70% darkness. And the finish got longer and stronger. The strength's at medium to full right there. You got the middle. The nose is the middle up, 50% for darkness, and horizontal for 50% in strength. This is 3/4. So we're at 3/4 strength, and we're at almost 3/4 darkness. It picked up. So as of right now, at this point, it's stronger than where the personal reserver was. Wow. Okay. I called it too soon. We're going to see what happens. Tons of flavor on the mouth. Just super delicious, man. Holy cow. It doesn't feel like a completely opposite cigar than the regular personal reserve. But it is slightly different. I can't exactly place it what else, but it's like the way it's doing it. That rich syrup notes coming in that the other ones had. Honestly, it's nice comparing these cigars because these are really great to smoke. But it's also like, it's hard because they're so great. It's kind of like being like, well, what do you prefer? A Macallan's 18, a Glenlivet 18, or, I don't know, a Glenfiddich 18. And like, yeah, you can have your personal preferences, and I get it. And most people maybe say, well, the Macallan's, and I get that too. But at the end of the day, like, it's just going to be a guy drinking 3 different glasses of 18-year-old scotch. Like, he's not having a bad, he's like, yeah, well, this one was really good, but this one was gooder. You're like, it was gooder? Sources say, the man says, it was gooder. Like, when something's already great and then something else is better than that, is it 1%? Is it 2? It could be better, but there's no way it's going to be 100% better, If they're the same price, why would anyone buy the other ones? Separation of percentages. It's really picking up in strength. That is surprising. I'm going to come back really surprising on this. This beautiful blend. God bless you, Jeremy, for this cigar. God bless your entire family. We're going to see what happens. So we're back. We're on the Fuente Don Carlos edition anniversary, 2017, right? For Carlito Fuente Sr. Impressed. Magical. Delicious. I will say this though, and I'm going to say this right up front. The personal reserve, in my opinion, is the better cigar. Is this still superior to the classic Don Carlos? You betcha. Where this cigar be right now, $4.75, almost 4.8. I can highly recommend it. It's a box worthy. It's a ridiculous cigar. But the personal reserve for me, it was closer in the beginning, and then as time went on, I'm wrong. The cigar is very delicious. But as time went on, the cigar started to leave that medium to full and hang out around more medium plus, almost. So it has very beautiful flavor. it's more creamy than the regular person's than the person reserve. So if here's the Don Carlos and here's the person reserve right there next to Anejo, I'm sorry, next to Opus. This I'd put this around the Anejo and maybe even slightly better than an Anejo, but not equal to regular Opus X or equal to the person reserve. That's my opinion on this cigar. Understand what I'm trying to say, though. If we just zoom out and just enjoy the cigar. Yeah, this is a godlike cigar. This is ridiculous. So much flavor. Creamy, nutty, cinnamon, black pepper, slight red pepper. You can either discern it as a figgy note or a dry raisin note. It's a beautiful sweet dark fruit note. I mean, and syrupy as well. It is really nice. However, though, you really want to hold the smoke on this, because as it dies out a little bit, if you're not holding the smoke, you're not going to be picking up that great flavor. The finish is coating my tongue, though. However, at this point, it's not a super strong finish, but it's pretty long. Construction has been flawless. And it is kind of cold out. I mean, it's not as cold as it is at nighttime, 30. Maybe it's like 39, maybe 38. So anyways, yeah, I highly recommend it, if you can find it. But if you were choosing, my opinion, between the Person Reserve and this, I'd go Person Reserve. This is just my opinion, though. Why is this cigar doing to me? Because right there on that puff, all of a sudden it went back to medium to full. It's got some complexity transitioning going to it in strength. Normally it doesn't do that. Normally cigars either start somewhere and build up slowly, or they start somewhere and then they pick up and that's it, they stay there. Or sometimes cigars start off, they pick up and they drop off and they don't normally come back. This one started off, picked up, went down, and now it picked up right there. So, I mean, interesting, unique. You're not gonna have a bad time with this. Oh God, that is so good. It's like if you were eating syrup pancakes with a high quality syrup, roasted nuts, some dry figs, and plenty of spice on it. Yeah, man, it's delicious. Oh my God, it's delicious. Yeah. This is why it hurts comparing them, because just smoking this, I wish I could just talk about the cigar, but we are doing this in a series. So, as of right now, the Person Reserve would be number 1. Number 2 would be this one, the Don Carlos 2017. Number 3 would be the regular Don Carlos. So that would be the pecking order. I'm gonna go and come back just at the end of the cigar, but yeah, man, really a magical blend. That smoked, like barbecue pit feeling, that smoked, burned wood, charred wood, that Fuente does so well. It mixes so well with all those flavors. God. Yeah, it has that. Like I said last night, it's like making s'mores on a rich barbecue pit while eating pancakes and syrup. I don't know. It's creamy. Cigars. I guess you can't go wrong with marshmallows and pancakes. Shit, I mean, it is what it is. Like it's this level, this one in the Person Reserve, compared to most cigars in your lounge, blow it away. However, this one's not as strong as the Person Reserve. And however, both those cigars are not going to be as heavy or strong as dark as, let's say, Patron 64, 26. Different kind of party. Great complexity, great sweetness. And this one has a good amount of spice, not as much as the personally served one, which I would prefer over this. Heads up. I'll come back. We're at the end of the cigar. We're deep into the last third. Getting perfect burn, razor sharp burn, classical Fuente. I'm surprised the ash is holding on because it is rather cold, and my hands I cannot feel. The Richie in me, though, is the Richie in you. I would like to do an ash test on this, though. Because I do have some ash breakage right there. So let's get to the ash test. I don't expect it to hold on. It is rather cold. So, horizontal test. Vertical test. Vertical bouncing test. Vertical bouncing test. Vertical up, vertical down, vertical left, vertical right. Well, so the Fuente in me is the Fuente in you. I love this cigar. I love it. The personal reserve wins compared to the cigar. But this is cigar alone. It beats a lot of cigars you had. I promise you that. The last third did pick up, and it really is hanging around medium to full, which is why I would have liked to hang out the whole time, but that's okay. We had some transitioning. Marvelous cigar, delicious cigar. It's going to be a 4.8. It's going to be a 4.8. It's a 4.8. So, yeah. If you could find it. If you could find, I guess, any of these, 2017, 18, I don't know if there's a 19, 20, 20. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they're made and then held back for a few years and then released. I have no idea. You'd have to speak to our Opus X senior advisor, the master of Fuente. Jeremy would know more than me, and maybe he'll be available in the comments. So we'll see. But yeah, what a wonderful cigar. Now I'm gonna drop the ash because I want to taste it without any ash. Let's see if there's a change. Honey, I'm taking my ash for a walk. Fuente? Somebody order Fuente? Fuente just doesn't want to go. It's gonna need a tap. Do you want a tap? You want a tap? Do you want a tap? I'm gonna have to tap it. There it goes. And there it goes. That ash was so solid. The whole ash came off in one piece, bounced off my ashtray, and now it's all over my sandals. Slippers. That's exciting. So now my slippers will smell like pancake syrup. Did it change it at all without the ash? Marvelous cigar, delicious cigar, creamy, syrupy. We already went over all the notes. I don't need to say it again. I don't need to recommend these level of Fuentes. Like, these cigars sell themselves. And I almost hope you don't buy them, so maybe I have a chance, if they're at a store, for Richie could buy them. They're marvelous. It is what it is. It's top shelf. And it's worth it. And the beautiful thing about high-end Fuentes, you could smoke them to the nub, and it doesn't burn the fingers. If you could just get a little paper clip just to hold it, because you could smoke it down to nothing. You could just have a 1/4 inch of tobacco, and it'll still smoke. So I still got about 20 minutes left. At least 10, I'm not even joking. We're done here. I wish you well. Stay fresh, tents for camping. Prunes, prunes, prunes. Clear yourself out. Hydrate, filtered water. Limit your alcohol consumption. There's no cigars in prison. Soft, gentle heat. And you know what it is, all right?